Barcelona have just shaken the entire transfer market. Because while Bayern Munich believed they were leading the race for Anthony Gordon, Barcelona quietly stepped in with a £70 million offer that could completely change the future of one of England's most explosive forwards. And suddenly, one of the Premier League's biggest stars could be heading to the Camp Nou. This is no longer speculation. This is no longer just interest. Advanced talks are now taking place between Barcelona and Newcastle United, and the feeling around the deal is becoming increasingly serious. For weeks, Bayern Munich were viewed as the favorites. Conversations had already taken place. The German giants saw Gordon as the perfect modern winger for their next era. Fast, aggressive, fearless in transition. A player capable of stretching defenses while pressing relentlessly without the ball. But now Barcelona have entered the picture with force. And the timing of it all feels deliberate. Because behind the scenes, Newcastle United have reportedly been preparing for this possibility for quite some time. Anthony Gordon has not featured heavily toward the end of the season, and many now believe the club were protecting one of their most valuable assets ahead of a possible summer transfer. The reality is simple. Newcastle know this summer could define their future financially, and Anthony Gordon's value may never be higher than it is right now. 17 goals this season, 10 of them in the Champions League, numbers that completely change the way Europe now views him. Only Kylian Mbappé and Harry Kane scored more goals in the Champions League this season than Anthony Gordon. Think about that for a second. Not Vinicius Jr., not Rafael Leo, not Jamal Musiala. Anthony Gordon. And those numbers have forced Europe's elite clubs to take him seriously in a completely different way. Because this is no longer just a hard-working Premier League winger with pace and intensity. This is now a player producing elite-level numbers on the biggest stage in club football. That changes everything. 3 years ago, when Newcastle spent around £45 million to sign Gordon, many people questioned the move. Critics called him inconsistent, emotional, wasteful in front of goal. There were doubts about whether he could ever become a truly world-class attacker. Now Barcelona and Bayern Munich are fighting over him. That transformation says everything about the level Gordon has reached under Eddie Howe. He has become one of the most aggressive attacking players in England. Defenders hate playing against him because he never stops running. He attacks space relentlessly. He presses with intensity. He forces mistakes. And most importantly, he now has end product to match the chaos he creates. That combination is exactly why Barcelona are willing to move this aggressively. Because Gordon fits modern football perfectly. He can play from the left. He can operate on the right. He can even play centrally when needed. His versatility makes him incredibly valuable for clubs competing across multiple competitions. And Barcelona are building a team designed around energy, speed, and fearless young players. When you look at what the club already has with Lamine Yamal, Pedri, and Gavi, you can understand exactly why Gordon appeals to them. He fits the identity they are trying to rebuild. An emotional player, an intense player, a player capable of changing the rhythm of a game instantly. And perhaps most importantly, he feels built for Champions League football. Barcelona know they need more than technical quality now. They need athleticism. They need directness. They need players capable of surviving the speed and intensity of Europe's elite competition. Anthony Gordon gives them that. But this deal is not simple. Because Newcastle United still value him at around £75 million. Barcelona's current offer reportedly sits around $70 million plus bonuses, meaning negotiations are now focused heavily on the structure of the agreement. And that's where things become complicated. Barcelona cannot simply pay massive transfer fees up front anymore. their financial issues still force them to negotiate creatively. Installments, long-term payments, performance bonuses, all of these factors will play a major role in whether this deal gets completed. Newcastle wants security. Barcelona want flexibility. And somewhere in the middle, Anthony Gordon is waiting for the biggest decision of his career. Because this is the moment where everything changes for a footballer. Stay at Newcastle and continue being one of the faces of the project Eddie Howe has built. Join Bayern Munich and become part of one of Europe's most dominant football machines. Or move to Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in football history, where every match becomes global pressure. That decision is massive. And the World Cup adds even more urgency to the situation. Newcastle reportedly want this deal resolved before the tournament begins. The risk of injury is simply too high. If Gordon suffers a serious setback during international duty with England, the entire financial landscape of this transfer changes instantly. That's why talks are moving quickly. Barcelona understand the timing. Newcastle understand the timing. And Gordon himself understands the opportunity sitting in front of him. Because opportunities like this do not come often. One great season can change a player's entire life. And right now, Anthony Gordon is living that reality. But there's another consequence to all of this that could create huge drama elsewhere. Because Gordon potentially arriving at Barcelona could directly affect the future of Marcus Rashford. Rashford has been heavily linked with Barcelona for quite some time. Reports suggest the Manchester United forward remains interested in staying at the Camp Nou long-term. But Barcelona have hesitated over the financial demands involved in making that move permanent. Now Gordon's situation changes everything. Both players naturally operate from the left side. Both prefer attacking from wide positions into central areas. Both would demand major minutes. And realistically, Barcelona are unlikely to fully commit financially to both deals. Which means Gordon could unintentionally become the reason Rashford misses out on his dream move. That possibility has already triggered huge debate online. Some fans believe Gordon's relentless work rate and intensity make him a better tactical fit for Barcelona's current direction. Others argue Rashford still offers the higher ceiling in terms of pure talent and goal-scoring ability. Meanwhile, Newcastle supporters are experiencing mixed emotions. Because Gordon became more than just a good player for them. He represented the emotion of the club's rise. He represented the fight, the aggression, the identity Eddie Howe built into Newcastle's football. Losing him would hurt emotionally. But financially, Newcastle also understand this may be the perfect moment to sell. And then there, Bayern Munich. A club that genuinely believed they were in control of this race. Imagine thinking negotiations are progressing positively, only for Barcelona to suddenly arrive and potentially steal the deal completely. That's the ruthless reality of elite football transfers. Everything can change in one day. One phone call. One offer. One decision. And now the feeling around Europe is clear. Barcelona are pushing hard. Very hard. Advanced talks are already taking place. Personal terms are not expected to become a major issue. The main challenge now revolves around finalizing a financial structure acceptable to Newcastle United. If that happens, Anthony Gordon could soon become a Barcelona player. And if he does, it would complete one of the most remarkable career transformations in recent Premier League history. From Everton Academy talent, to Newcastle superstar, to potentially playing under the lights of the Camp Nou in the Champions League. Football changes fast, and Anthony Gordon's world may be about to change forever. Because right now, one of the biggest clubs in football is calling. and the next few days could decide everything. So keep watching this story carefully, because this transfer saga is far from over.